Taurus, hello and welcome. This is your November 1st through the 15th of 2020 overall general reading, energy reading. This is a 5-card tarot card overall energy reading for the time period of November 1st through the 15th of 2020. Keep in mind, Taurus, it is a general reading for the larger collective of Taurus, and it's intended for informational purposes. The information may not resonate with everyone, with all Tauruses, and that's totally okay. Take what fits and let the rest go. To save time, I've already shuffled the cards and requested the universe guidance, and the cards were selected and ejected on their own during the shuffle. The 5 cards that were exited during the shuffle for this energy reading are lined up here, again for November 1st to the 15th of 2020. The first card here represents the energy for past influences for the collective of Taurus, and that's significant within the last few months. In some cases, the energy may have resolved itself, and in other cases it still may be lingering. The second card here represents the current energy for this, or the present energy for this time period. The third card here represents the energy for your future energies during this time frame, things that haven't occurred yet or will be occurring within this time frame. And the fourth card here represents your future challenges. This could be, I'm sorry, the fourth card represents your, I'm correct, your challenges that you may be facing during this time period. And it doesn't mean that they're negative. It could be things that just to be aware of it, but in most cases they're just choices that you need to make. And finally, the fifth card here represents the energy for your outcomes. This is the outcome energy that can anticipate during this time frame of November 1st to the 15th. So, we start here in past influences. For Taurus, we have the 6 of Pentacles. Angel and Spirit Guides, please help us understand why the 6 of Pentacles here is for Taurus and their past influences during this time period, please. Well, Taurus, I'm picking up that, during the past few months, many of you may have been sharing your finances. And now, typically, this is a wealth and abundance card, but this does not necessarily mean, a millionaire wealth or a millionaire abundance. If you have that, that's awesome, but it's just basically picking up that, Taurus, as you were picking up the bill. I'll just put it that way in many cases. In some cases, you were in the position to be able to do it. In other cases, you volunteered or you were taken advantage of. Some of you may have donated to charitable donations. Excuse me. And even if you weren't financially wealthy, some Tauruses, you just offered up your time and energy and even love or support to those who were in need. Giving your time and your wisdom and your ideas is just as spiritually fulfilling. I'm picking up there may have been times that, Taurus, you were probably wondering if you could truly continue to afford to pay for things or give to others in whatever way. The wise advice of the six of Pentacles in such cases to trust that, every contribution that you make is valued and will come back to you threefold. I'm also picking up that many Tauruses were inclined to make perhaps a loan to someone or to help someone out with the idea that they will eventually pay you back once they're back on your feet. You did so built on trust and good faith. If you kept with the idea of knowing that if you give something away, it will come back to you. For many in such cases, that is an exchange that is more about short-term, a short-term sort of fix, but it's not a sustainable solution, particularly if it's the same person over and over who you are helping out. So, you were encouraged to sort of think about financially how you could support yourself or your family or friends, and really about making sure that you are able to support yourself, because you have to determine if you keep dishing out the money, can you work towards your own self-sufficiency. I'm also picking up, on the other hand, that many Tauruses, perhaps were receiving on the receiving end of some people's generosity, and that you were accepting of these gifts. In many cases, you were very thankful. The intention to help you was to get you back on your feet, and your goal, if you haven't already paid them back, was to repay them. This could be either through with your time, or once you had your finances. Taurus has a risk of receiving that sort of charity based on others, because you can become dependent on it, and there's a good chance that you cannot look for it yourself. So during your past influences, this was sort of encouraging you, Tauruses, to be mindful that you're not growing, to not grow submissive, and not come across as desperate as a result of such receiving such, because someone else or others are helping you and assisting you, because you may not be able to do things for yourself. I'm picking up here, Taurus, is that the Six of Pentacles overall was about financial harmony, trying to find a financial balance for yourself in the past influences, where your money was coming in, where your money was going out, and you're questioning, what do you have to show for what the money? What do you have to show for yourself where you put your money? In your present energy for November 1st through the 15th of 2020, Taurus, you have the Ten of Cups. Angel and Spirit Guides, please help us understand for Taurus the Ten of Cups, why it's in their present energy during this time frame, please. Well, we know that the Ten of Cups here, Taurus, embodies happiness, emotional contentment, feelings of joy, and it's particularly within your interpersonal relationships and family. For some Tauruses, you felt that you were able to sort of created a love and happiness in your life, and you wanted to share that with others. You were wanting to expand your heart. Typically, this card shows up in your present energy for Tauruses because you feel like you're surrounded by your loved ones whom you share sort of a powerful and deep connection. There's a feeling of appreciation and support for one another, and your intentions are to help each other reach your highest potential. It brings a lot of joy to see your loved ones and those that you care about succeed and live happy lives. Typically, the Ten of Cups is a happy family card. It's suggesting that your family relationships, family whoever they are in harmony, and there's a feeling of love flowing. There's typically less fighting and less tension. Family members are getting along with each other, and there's that sort of a love and happiness surrounding you and flowing through you. This card also picks up that perhaps you're spending a lot more time with a family or someone that's significant with you. And with the idea of creating fun and sort of strong bonds. Typically, Taurus, the Ten of Cups is a positive card for romantic relationships. And I'm picking up for some Tauruses, it's indicating there's either a new or encouraging relationship and a feeling of long-term commitment. It could be an engagement, a marriage, or starting a family together. If it's not you specifically, someone close to you maybe being engaged or being married or starting a family, and you're feeling joyful from that. This is about everlasting love, and perhaps you may be feeling that you found a soulmate and that you're destined to be with one another. I'm also picking up here for Tauruses that the Ten of Cups is popping up in this time frame for you, specifically in your present energies, is that you're trying to create a sense of wholeness, of completion, and you're trying to align that with your relationships and with others. In some cases, you're able to experience that sort of state of peace, that idyllic state of peace and harmony, and feeling of love, and the things that you dream and that you wish for. When those moments do occur, it's important to take a step back and sort of appreciate everything that you've accomplished, and appreciate that connection. Um, in essence, the Ten of Cups encourages, Tauruses, that even if you aren't feeling that total idyllic state of love and bliss, it is a card of that encourages you to follow your heart and trust your intuition. So if you're not quite as idyllic in a perfect relationship as the card is intended, the other side of this is encouraging you to follow your heart and trust your intuition, and that will lead you to opportunities aligned with your highest good. It's asking you to trust your feelings and emotions because they will guide you. In other words, when something feels fantastic, do more of it. When something doesn't feel right, do less of it. If you're around somebody who brings you joy, enjoy it. But if you're around somebody who is bringing you down or bringing out negativity, stay away and balance that out. We always have our good days and bad days. So, this is about sort of, again, trusting the intuition and listening to your heart, that if you are involved with a person, whether a friend or a close relationship, if you spend more time having negative emotions than you do having joyful ones, that's just depleting your energy. And if this is going to sort of ask you to make a decision. This is about allowing your inner guidance to lead you the way. This is encouraging you, Tauruses, that seek out opportunities that will fulfill you and align you with your personal values instead of following the path that others expect you to take. So if you're going to stay in a relationship that isn't going anywhere, then that's where you have to make a decision. In our future energies here, we have the Three of Swords, but we have it in reverse. So, angel and spirit guides, please help us understand for Taurus why the Three of Swords is in reverse during this time frame. This is their future energies for this time period, please. Taurus, the Three of Swords here, I'm picking up, is encouraging you to pay attention to your inner thoughts and your self-talk. It's encouraging you to understand that words are powerful, especially those that you may repeat to yourself day after day. In many ways, you may be prone to self-criticism, and that limits your beliefs and negative self-talk. And perhaps you're identifying with sort of that inner mean girl or boy who's constantly telling you why you're no good or not good enough or you don't deserve better. When you hear these sort of negative thoughts, these internal negative thoughts, this card is asking you to sort of ask yourself whether you would ever utter these words to a friend or a loved one. And if the answer is no, then why are you speaking these words to yourself? And also, if you already have, we all have self-doubt to some degree and some level of insecurity. I mean, we're human. But this is asking that if you are also have that sort of insecurity, what we call normal sense of insecurity, if you're around people who are constantly giving you that same feedback, this is an opportunity to assess that, because negativity negates negativity. This is calling upon you to sort of to look how you can shift your thoughts to a more positive and reinforce your own confidence. And understanding that you, Taurus, have to understand that, that to be the person you deserve to be. I'm in many cases, Taurus, you may be hypersensitive to other people's words, and again, it's about trusting yourself and understanding who you are, and not be dependent upon what others feel. So it's about developing a thick skin. This is a time to let go of hurt that these words are causing you, whether it's your past and whoever may have caused them in the past, or up to your current time frame. And it's also about forgiving yourself. This is about understanding that the only thing that's holding you back is you, and it's encouraging you to do self-reflection, and it's asking you, to ask yourself what's triggered these sort of feelings and why. And you're encouraged to sort of address, what's the underlying issues here. For example, if you're upset by a friend's accusation that you're selfish, look within yourself to see why you may be acting selfishly. If the behavior is no longer serving you, then let it go. The Three of Swords here in reverse indicates, Taurus, that perhaps many of you are feeling, or have recently gone through sort of a difficult patch. And I'm picking up more towards a relationship. Could be a very close friend, or even an intimate relationship. And that you've sort of experienced that this relationship has been very challenging. And that you're dealing with a lot of hurt, as not only often disguised as anger and frustration, but it's really more hurt, is what I'm picking up here. The reverse of this Three of Swords card I'm picking up is suggesting that time is passing, and in order to get onto that path of recovery here, Taurus, you have to realize that with every cloud comes a silver lining. And even though that may be sort of a corny saying, but this is asking you to again understand the laws of attraction. If you feel negative, if you interact negatively, you will attract negativity. And if you haven't, so Taurus, this is the time to really understand the laws of attraction, and to really understand what it is that, if you want to change that thought process, how to go about changing it. And there are many YouTube videos about laws of attraction and processes to manifest correctly. So in many cases, if you want to move forward, Taurus, you have to accept that, yes, wherever there was pain, but you have to let it go, and you have to release it. And until you release it and let it go, whether it's you caused it or someone else caused it, it doesn't really matter. You're going to be stuck, and you're going to continue to repeat in this sort of state of unhappiness. For others, the reverse of swords is coming up for some Tauruses is some of you may be finding it hard to move on from a relationship where you've suffered a loss or a heartbreak. In that case, the reverse card here is reflecting that you're still suffering from that loss or from that heartbreak, and that you're hanging on to it, and that you're sort of unable to purge that sort of negative thoughts and negative hurt out of you, and you're sort of just living it day to day. So perhaps some of you are just feeling stuck, is the energy I'm getting here. So you're, instead of, this card is encouraging you, instead of focusing on the negativity, focus on embracing new opportunities. We know it's hard to bear any sort of pain after a separation or in sort of a negative relationship, and we understand that it's normal to feel sorrow and sadness, but this is about learning to accept the circumstances, and as really it's about accepting what isn't working, and about allowing yourself to sort of go through the healing process, so that you can become unblocked. This is about allowing yourself to experience that pain, give yourself the right to grieve, and release any sort of heartache and any sort of hurt. The Three of Swords here is asking you, Taurus, is in what way am I suffering? And what am I most sorrowful about? And what am I getting out of being feeling this suffering? And what can I do to release this pain and this suffering and then learn from it? So for many of you, I'm picking up, if you're experiencing sort of challenges in your relationships, the reverse Three of Swords here is serving as a reminder to be the peacemaker. But always think before you speak. You know, just arguing back and saying things that you will later regret are not going to help. And if you have said things that you regret, it's never too late to say that you're sorry. But this is about accepting your responsibility. The only one who can make you happy typically is going to be you. And that's the bottom line. In our challenges here this time, we have the King of Cups. Angel and Spirit Guides, please help us understand why the King of Cups here is for Taurus in their challenges during this time frame, please. Well, Taurus, the King of Cups here represents a mastery of emotion and creativity and even the unconscious. For some, I'm picking up during this time frame of your challenges that you're wanting to gain control of your feelings, and you're trying to accept them without allowing them to get the better of you. This is one of those situations that, even if life throws you a curveball, you can draw on your emotional maturity and stability to help you navigate through such emotional challenges. The challenge is that you don't let things get to you, and that you steer clear of drama, and that instead of choosing drama or participating in it, or if it chooses you, or being drawn into such drama, that you make a choice. That's your challenge. You make a choice to go towards the more emotional, balanced, and calm approach, or to stay out of that situation. For Tauruses, if you're being challenged personally, the King of Cups here is present because it's reminding you to remain emotional mature when you're faced with any type of negative energy from others. It's about being firm on your personal boundaries and understanding yourself. It's about stating what is and is not acceptable on an emotional level. The King here of Cups represents a level head and represents being in control of his emotions. It's a masculine energy, but it's about using your intellect to make smart decisions and not let circumstances or whims sway you from what your core beliefs are and what your values are. This is about staying true to your emotions and feelings and not allowing others to steer you off your course. Taurus, the King of Cups here, is about it embodies that perfect balance between the heart and the mind. It's understanding emotion and logic, and it's encouraging you to draw upon your intuition and understanding of human interactions. It's encouraging you to be the leader in this situation, that you lead for yourself, and you lead in understanding and working towards the goals and objectives that you want, because your self-esteem and your health and emotional health is what's critical. It's about embodying a sense of logic and emotion that's balanced, to draw on that sort of energy and realign yourself. Here, the King here, it represents that sort of masculine, fatherly energy, and it's in the Cups card, as it's a Cups card in Tarot. That's around sort of that the strong, positive and constructive emotional self, and bringing it forward. It's about taking and receiving wise advice when it comes to feelings, emotions, and creativity in relationships. and sort of see the human experience through its entirety. The King of Cups demonstrates compassion towards others, and it's important about creating strong mutual bonds and relationships based on patience and understanding. But it has to be mutual. It's about interacting with others. That you have to understand how you navigate these sort of strong feelings and emotional triggers, so that you can get a sense of peace and within your own interaction. Um, you know, this card uh, can appear in your life as a mentor. It could appear as a coach or a spiritual guide. Um, However, you have to step forward and involve yourself in it if you want to get control of this. In your outcomes, you have the Eight of Swords, and it is in reverse. Angel and Spirit Guides, please help us understand for Taurus why the Eight of Swords is in reversed in their outcomes during this energy period, please. Well, much like your challenges here, Taurus, many of you I'm picking up are limiting your own self-beliefs. And your self-beliefs are what are bringing you down. They're preventing you from moving forward. I'm picking up that you may be telling yourself, Taurus, is that you do not deserve to be wealthy, or you don't deserve to be in a healthy relationship, or you don't even know what that is. You might, conclude that you're too old to lose weight, or, or, and because of that, that leaves you unhappy with your body, or you don't deserve to be in a loving, caring, supportive relationship. That's limiting you. Again, laws of attraction here. If you attract negativity, if you think negativity, you attract negativity. These are about beliefs that you hold within yourself that are preventing you from achieving any sort of personal goals, whether it's relationship, financial, whatever. This is about changing your belief system. It's about catching yourself whenever you're in a negative thought pattern and to break that cycle. The Eight of Swords here, Taurus, is in reversed, is suggesting that you are more prone to negative self-talk and suffering at the hands of your own inner critic. And it's a trap that you have created, because every time you try to do something, your inner critic tells you why it's wrong and it's not good enough, so you give up trying altogether. And in many cases, you may surround yourself by people who sort of perpetuate that negative thought. The reverse Eight of Swords here is signaling, Taurus, that those skeletons in your closet need clearing out. And this is about allowing yourself to go through all those old patterns of behaviors and negative self-talk, and your own sort of negative belief systems, because they're holding you back. The positive side of this, Taurus, is that the Eight of Swords here in the reverse is showing you, or is it going to allow you to understand that if you release yourself from those negative patterns and those negative self-belief systems, that you will see the light at the end of the tunnel. This is a self-imposed negativity. It's not a reality. So, if it's about letting go of those. So it kind of ties back here. It's letting go of negativity in order to move forward, and that the only person who's holding you back is really you. And if you need, if you're surrounding yourself with negative energy and negative people, then you need to get rid of that. You have to get rid of it, or you will see no progress. So in order to see the light at the end of the tunnel, you have to think more positive, and you have to, attract more positivity. You have to let go of self-limiting thoughts. So, this is about, it's not as hard as you think it is, Taurus. That's the trick here. The universe is saying it's not as hard as you think it is. It's about changing your perspective and changing your approach. It's about acknowledging that you have options in front of you, and it's about refusing to play a role of a victim, and taking greater accountability for where you want to be in your life, because things aren't as limiting as you are allowing them to be. So, Taurus, again, there's been this theme here of noticing about a lot of self-limitation. And the universe here is continuing to want to support you, just saying that there is a light at the end of the tunnel when you're ready. So, Taurus, thank you so much for watching this video. I definitely appreciate it. If you would like to support this channel, the YouTube algorithms, as I said in the beginning, depend on your support by clicking on the big three, which is click on the like the video, click on subscribe to the channel, and click the notification button. It costs you no money. You won't be bombarded by emails or junk mail or anything like that. This strictly is an algorithm that YouTube uses in order to promote and push YouTube channels to a wider audience. And I'm a relatively new channel, so I'm requesting your assistance if you're so willing to, of course, by clicking on those big three. It will help my algorithm with YouTube and to push my channel farther. So if you are so inclined, please do. For those who did subscribe to my channel and clicked on the like and the notification, thank you very much. I greatly appreciate it. Taurus says, please feel to leave a comment if you felt any part of this reading was applicable to you. And again, if it didn't resonate with you or a portion of it didn't resonate with you, that's totally okay. Please understand it's a general reading and it may not have been applicable to you because of sun signs and birth signs and anything else like that. So it's a general reading. Again, thank you so much, Taurus, and I appreciate it. And we will see you in the last 2 weeks of November, and have an awesome time. Enjoy. Take care of yourself. Be well.